Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio, Roselle, New Jersey. So, got to hang out with Tim Nagy for a full day the other day. He actually spent, like 16 hours on the road driving just to come hang out here for a day. I was humble and honored. Dude is super, super smart, super helpful. And we were discussing a bunch of stuff. He actually built the prototype rings that are on my CVO that is currently on its way to SEMA. So you guys will see the new 23/24 CVO at SEMA with Tim's prototype rings on it. The bags are sealed and ported, and I was only able to do it because Tim hopped on it as soon as I told him I'd ordered the bike. He promised me I'd have the parts in time to finish the bike, and he delivered. So one of the things that Tim wanted me to bring to people's attention is everybody knows him for building rings. Building rings is actually a very small part of what he does. He's actually a manufacturer. So if you need anything built or prototyped, or you have a prototype that you build and you need mass produced, he could build it out of metal, he could build it out of plastic, he could do injection molding. Just reach out to him. What people don't realize about this is I've been in business since the late 90s. So over 2 decades, going on 3. And over the years, I've needed stuff done and produced and manufactured, and I just couldn't afford it. I had nobody I could reach out to because they normally have minimums. Tim will build you a one-off part. As long as you have the money to pay for the mold, he doesn't mind, he'll do it. I've never met anybody in my career personally that was able to do stuff like that. Plus, Tim has so much money invested that when he orders material, it's a huge amount of material. People don't realize, I was talking to him about the hardware that he includes for free in his kits. When he orders screws, it's 16,000 screws at a time. When he orders, it's in the thousands to get his cost down to where it needs to be, so he can provide us with the tools that we need, and it makes his product better. So if you're comparing his product to somebody else, even if the price is close, it's not even a close comparison because you get the tech support, you get the hardware, you get I've seen value in it. I've been dealing with Tim for years and I've just never looked back. There's a lot of quality product on the market. It's just I choose to partner with Tim because with Tim I get 5, 6, 7 solutions in one, and it just works out for me. So just the amount of raw material that he purchases just to drive down the cost on stuff he's able to produce. Tim and I will be working together on stuff that I need done in the future that is an absolute no-brainer. But something that people don't realize, in my entire career, Tim's the first person that I've reached out to a few people to try and get stuff manufactured under the NVS Audio name. And then I have such an aggressive discount from most of the people that I deal with that getting stuff manufactured wasn't really worth it because it was really close to the cost that I was already paying. So once I'm dealing with some of these companies and I have, let's say, a 20% discount and I'm hitting my volume numbers, so then to get a one-off piece made, ordering 100 pieces is close to what I'm paying, ordering one at a time, so it really doesn't make sense until now. So Tim has so much raw material in stock. If there's something I come up with an idea for, or it's something that I prototype here on my CNC and my laser, and then I want to mass produce it, I could just build him a sample or just give him the parameters and he can mass produce it. So I'll get one piece dialed in 100% the way I want it or close to it and send it off to him, and he can go ahead and duplicate the piece and make it in a different material. He spent a couple hours with me and he touched all my machines and he showed me a trick on every single machine. He showed me a trick on my CNC. He showed me a trick on the software for the CNC. He showed me a trick on my fiber laser. He showed me a trick on my mini water jet. And then he's trying to get my plasma table up and running. Wasn't able to do it, but he pointed me in the right direction, so I should have that going again later on this week. Thank you so much, Tim. Tim is a super smart dude. If you spend 5 minutes talking to him, you realize that he's really, really got time and money invested, and he's sort of obsessed when it comes to what he does and the quality of the product that he's trying to produce. What I mean by this is he's getting his rings injection molded now, and he's concerned that they're not able to withstand as much pressure as his standard rings. Well, his standard rings were overbuilt. So now he's trying to get the injection molded ones to be as strong as it. So he went as far as to bring me a sample. We drilled them, we tapped them, we ran the screws through them without drilling them first. He knows exactly what it takes to make the material fail, and the material didn't fail while he was here. He was able, I wish I could have made a video of this, but it was just so my content. His new injection molded ring, he pre-drilled it, then he took the screw, drove the screw all the way through until the head of the screw was embedded inside the injection molding without cracking the edge of the ring, and the piece he was drilling through was only about ½ inch thick. So that was incredible to me. So I think that's strong enough. So while we were at the shop, he mounted a woofer in the ring and then stood on the ring while it was mounted to the woofer, and it didn't give way. And then he just sent me over a video. He was hanging out with Zane and them, and these crazy bastards threw a saddlebag across the parking lot, threw it up in the air like 10, 12 feet. The saddlebag completely shattered, destroyed the mid-base driver, and the ring was still intact. So I think it's a go for the injection molding. I'm definitely going to be buying them. How much more proof do you need? But that's just the way he is. He wants to test the product. He wants to make sure he's building the best product possible. And that's why we partnered with him. You need somebody on your team that's that obsessed. That way you know you'll never have a problem with quality control, and that the products you're giving to your clients are above and beyond regular standard, and he stands behind everything that he sells. And he's just a good dude to talk to and deal with. Super nice guy. I'll give you the shirt off his back. So here, check out the video of some of the stuff we were working on, some of the stuff he's coming out with. And if you need anything manufactured, it doesn't hurt. Reach out to him. His cost per part is honestly the most affordable I've seen in my 20 plus years of doing this. Anybody else you deal with is going to want an insane quantity, like 1,500 or 2,000 pieces. Tim will make you a run for just a few pieces as long as you pay for the tooling and you pay for his labor. But really great guy. Reach out to him if you have any need. If you're thinking about getting anything manufactured, what's the worst he could say? I can't do it, or it's not worth it for me. It doesn't hurt. But thank you, Tim, for everything you do for the industry. Check out the video. Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey. I'm here with Tim Nagy from Nagy's Customs, and we got some awesome stuff for you guys. So I've been talking to Tim for a while, and everybody thinks that Tim just makes rings, and he does. And we use them here at the shop. It's just Tim and I have had a partnership for years. He's never let me down. Whatever I need, he gets to me on time. The fit and finish is always flawless. And with him, it's easy to scale my business because whatever I need, it's never an issue. So Tim's gotten into manufacturing now, so everybody thinks he just makes rings. It's actually, rings is the largest part of his business, but now he's into 3D scanning, modeling, so he doesn't want you guys to think of him as the ring guy. He wants you to think of him as the manufacturing guy. So if you guys need a one-off part made, or if you guys want to try and mass produce something, he can do it for you. He has all the tools available. He can scan, he can print, he can model. He actually spent the entire day with me at the shop and showed me a bunch of tricks on the CNC, stuff that I didn't know. He's literally shaved hours off my design time with some simple tricks. So that's why I recommend you reach out to him if you're planning on building something or just trying or just prototyping something, because he could build you a one-off part. He can usually get it done in a few hours, and then you could see if the part's going to work. So this is something that I've been fiddling around with, and within 5 minutes he figured out how to make it work. So we do a lot of stock saddlebags. We have clients that have 6x9s in the lids. So once we do a 10-inch in the lid, then we can no longer run once we do a 10-inch in the bag, we can no longer run a 6x9 in the lid. So then there are some solutions out there where you can do a horn tweeter in an angled plate, And that works well as long as you do not seal the bag. So the issue we're running into is we're doing 10s in the bags, we're sealing the bag, the customer has a 6x9 cutout. So now we're trying to do a horn loaded driver into a 6x9 plate. So I ran a couple of pieces on the 3D printer to try and get it to work, but I'm not that good on the 3D printer. So I showed Tim what I wanted to do, and I wanted a small, thin, strong plate at the bottom with the horn to go up as close to the lid as possible. He hopped on the laptop and designed something within 5 minutes. So when he goes back to his shop, he's gonna run it on the machine and print it out for me. I've been messing with this for weeks and couldn't get it right. He got it right in 5 minutes. I didn't know he offered these services, so I never reached out to him. So he showed me how he wants me to send him the files. So if you guys are doing something similar, if you're trying something new and want to see if it's going to work, just reach out to Tim. I guarantee you he gets you something within a week, as long as it's something small. Dude is super smart. He's a super genius. He's super helpful. Over here we have, so obviously I just got the new CVO for the shop and we're prototyping stuff. So the first person I called was Tim because I needed 10-inch rings for the bags. I couldn't use an inside mount because I knew I was going to seal the bags. Tim immediately got his hands on a set of saddlebags and started scanning them. Without having my bike or my saddlebags there, he got me a ring that fit perfectly and got it to me in time so the bike could make it to SEMA in time. I mean, who else can you partner with that could do something like that? Tim, take a minute and explain to them what this is.
So what this is here is the 2024 saddlebag. So far we have just half of it done here, but it's all been CNC'd. We still got to do a lot of the handwork to it that the CNC can't get. Probably CNC can do 99% of it. The rest of it's done by...
Hold on one second. I want to bring the phone closer so you guys can see the detail on this.
Literally the rest of it's all done by hand. So I've worked on this portion here. I still got to go in and work on some of this. After we're done with this, we'll send this back. We'll get it CMM checked. The model against the scan to make sure everything's correct and within tolerances, and then we'll start building parts off of this. Like I said, we've already had this done, so we were able to go ahead and pull the first part off. So it sits in there like that. Now we're able to look at every angle of the bag that the customer or the end user cannot see, and that would be the sides, the bottom, the top, without actually cutting the bag up. So this actually will give us a visual representation. We can take measurements from here to here, here to here, see how far the shock is, mounting depth, and just get a 360-degree visual of what it's going to look like and how it's going to fit.
See, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. You guys have access to all of this. Like, Tim is somebody in our community that you can easily message and reach out to. Literally, this was a 5-minute phone call for my bike. And look how he's got it dialed in. I haven't posted a video yet of the bags installed, but there they are, sealed and imported. Woofers are installed. Plenty of clearance between the woofer and the shock. He was able to build this without having the saddlebag there. He just took a scan, built a mold, and shipped me over the rings, and it fits perfect. Now that's customer service.
All right, so pretty much our process is, so we'll start off with basically a request, as Carlos gave us a request, one of the 2024. We'll start off with basically a rough design, just to see how it's going to fit, and then we start getting into the modeling of it. And once we get into the model of it, then we start building the molds. One set of rings takes 16 hours to make, so it's a long process. We do invest a lot of money into the company and into just every product that we do, whether it be my own products for other people, from just a molded product to injection molding. We've done quite a few injection molding tools, and that's what we're hoping to push towards, is getting things into injection molding. So this process here has been about 3 months to get it to this stage here, to where we feel comfortable that we'll be able to start selling the product. The injection molding process, this process here took 4 years. So this is over a 4-year process to actually get the Harley 10-inch saddlebag rings into production, the injection molding process. So it's been 2 tools. We just finished up the second tool. And that one's in production. We're sending out the 10 sets. Of course, Carlos has a set that we're going to be installing here, just to get an overall feel of what it looks like, if there's any changes that we have to make.
For you guys to understand, this is not the same material that his rings are currently made out of. Currently, his rings are made out of a solid block, and then they're milled down on a CNC machine. This, he made a jig exactly the way he needed it, and then it injects the material into the jig and creates the part. Completely different design, much faster, way more efficient, and currently the only company that I know of that's able to do it.
Yep, we'll have the only injection molding tool in the world to make Harley saddlebag speaker rings. So it's going to be a great product. Just want to get some finalization on it. It's always an investment. So we do injection molding tools too. Everything from just modeling to injection molding, CNC. We have a state-of-the-art Quasar CNC machine, super tight tolerances that can get you, a finish like this, to where there's literally nothing there. Basically can't even get air between it. And all of our parts, we believe, should be like that. It should be a quality part.
So if you guys are working on a project and then something doesn't fit right, he builds custom speaker rings. He builds, if you have lid speakers where the holes for the grill aren't lining up, he can retool the grill. He just had a client that had a 13 and down and wanted to do the 14 and up Torpec pod adapters. He was able to remachine the mounting holes to get it to work on the older bikes. Like, there's really nothing he can't do. So if you run into a problem on a project and you need something custom built or adapted or tooled, reach out to him. If you can't do it, he'll tell you can't do it. 99% of the time, he has a solution for it. He's had a solution for every problem we've had so far. Is there anything else you're going to be coming out with soon that you're allowed to talk about?
No, we have some parts that are coming out of patent that we'll be doing the injection molding tool on. The customer will have to release that information. We're just really working towards getting the CNC portion of the business up and running, getting it thriving, and doing more injection molding parts. And I've always, my shop has always been open to people in this industry to help out in any way I can. I always answer my phone with ideas. People need help. No, that's about it.
All right, let me see those tweeter mounts that you made for the shock towers.
Oh, the shock towers, yep. These were for... So these were for Max Spalding at Rusty's Garage. He wanted us to come out with something. So we came out with these 2.5, 2 1/4. And they go around the shock. They hold a tweeter. For those that don't have tweeters in their lids, they would be able to actually mount one in the shock. It has safety holes on the sides here so that the wires don't dangle down, or if something were to happen and the tweeter came down, it would keep it from falling out, falling on the ground, falling into a wheel, coming off the bike, hitting somebody behind you. So we did build into some safety features to it. Again, we make this part for Max Spalding. It's a great part. All aluminum, stainless steel hardware, whole 9 yards. And all you have to do is just measure the diameter of your shock to determine which size you would need. The opening for the tweeter is 1.75, which fits most tweeters on the market. Let's see. It's gonna be too big. Yeah, you need a smaller.
All right, let me get the smaller tweeter.
I think this has to be 1.75 or smaller. So these are, slips right on. And then you can just lock it right on there like that. So, again, somebody reached out, they had a great idea. I thought it was a great idea. Carlos thought it was a great idea, so we went ahead and ran with it, and so we made these for him.
So for you guys to understand what this does is, if you're riding a bike and you're going for a clean look, don't want to screw a tweeter into your lid, don't want to use the 8-inch speaker lids with the tweeter, but you still want high frequency coming from the back, this bolts to the shock once you remove the saddlebag, and then you can adjust it to where the tweeter fires between the tail of the bike and the saddlebag in that little 2-inch opening, and it's completely invisible. You can't see it, so you actually hear it, but you can't see it. It's a great idea if you're building a bike where you need more sound from the back, but you want it to be clean. You don't have to modify anything on the bike. You're literally mounting the tweeter without cutting any holes on the bike, and it's attaching to the shock. We have one here that I'm going to show you in a second. It's so solid that I can grab it by the tweeter mount and rock the bike back and forth without the tweeter moving. So it's a solid piece, well engineered, and we're definitely going to be stocking these, because there's builds that we do, and everything that we do, we like it to look factory. Most of our builds are stock bags, so it'd be nice to add extra sounds from the back, especially on the bike that has no tour pack and stock lids, but you still need more highs. This is an excellent solution. And I don't think these are too expensive either. What's retail on a set of these?
$75 retail.
$75 for a pair.
For the pair, yeah.
Nice. So this is what I'm talking about. If you guys have ideas, you want Tim to build you something or engineer something for you, Matt came up with the idea, Tim drew it up, and there it is, it's a reality.
So these are the ones that come in the package. screws to put in, and they just screw right in.
Beautiful. So Chris is going to draw with the China marker so he knows the inner and outer. So you pre-drill it and you can rough cut it. So Chris has his rough cut guide holes drilled out. So now when he runs the jigsaw along, he's going to run along the side of the holes. It's going to be easy to keep the jigsaw right along the line. And then it's going to leave him with just under a 1/4 inch of material to router out and clean up the edge. Now Chris is going to draw the outer line. Now we see the exact distance between the outside of the ring and the inside of the ring, and we can pre-drill our holes to mount the ring dead in the center. Makes it a lot easier. Now he's going to go ahead and mount the ring with 2 screws and run a flush trim bit to clean up these lines. This is a very important step for these rings. You have to use the screws that Tim supplies and the drill bit that Tim supplies.
That's just a standard 1/8 inch.
It's a standard 1/8 inch drill bit in case you lose it.
I have to go all the way in.
It's just like you normally would.
Just like you normally would.
Nothing about this process is huge.
Chris, I recommend you put this screw in, that way the ring doesn't move.
I usually do that one. Just open a little bit. Lay it down. have to start and record. You don't have to record the whole process.
I think they're strong enough. How much you weigh, Tim?
175.
175.
Out of here. Ring survived. Still stay panel bonded on. Looks like the bag is cracked before the ring.